Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today we're going to be talking about a breaking news NBA trade as the Phoenix Suns are trading for three-time All-Star Bradley Beal after averaging 23.2 points per game this season with the Washington Wizards, and will be pairing up the three-time All-Star with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker for a big three in Phoenix. And I would presume also with Bradley Beal coming with Beal now coming to the Suns with D Book and Durant, that Phoenix has to be the title favorite next season because they're going to get some decent assets back for DeAndre Ayton in a trade. Because even after this trade that sends Chris Paul and Landry Shamet and a handful of picks to the Washington Wizards for Bradley Beal, I really still don't see the Phoenix Suns going ahead and keeping DeAndre Ayton. I still think DeAndre Ayton will be moved this summer. I don't know when. I doubt it will be before the draft. Maybe before the draft. And the only way I really see a deal happening before the draft is like if Dallas makes a move for Ayton and offers the 10th overall pick and some players back. But I don't see Ayton being moved, and in that case, they're going to get some decent players or picks back for DeAndre Ayton. You would think I think they're in a trade for DeAndre Ayton, they're going to either be looking for a center, or if not a center, a point guard, because now they're in need for kind of both. Now they could keep Campaign and have him be the starting point guard next season. That's an option. So then Campaign would be the starting point guard. Devin Booker is the starting shooting guard. Bradley Beal is a small forward. Katie's the power forward, and then they trade for a center for DeAndre Ayton. I guess that could be an option. But I'm going to kind of get into this trade, this full trade. So Bradley Beal is heading to Phoenix, and in return, with Beal going to Phoenix, Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, a handful of second-round picks, and a couple pick swaps, which we don't know what any of these draft picks are going to the Washington Wizards. I would think it's probably around 2 to 3 second-round picks and maybe a first-round pick swap, I would probably presume. But I think it's a solid trade for Washington. It's not great. They could have gotten better. I think Miami would have been able to give some solid first-round picks. I think the big question for Washington in this trade is Chris Paul going to be staying on the roster next season. I honestly doubt that Chris Paul will be on the Wizards next year. Chris Paul said he wants to play for a title contender, and even if Washington were to make some moves like re-signing Kristaps, keeping Kristaps Porzingis, or even keeping both Porzingis and Kuzma, they're still not title contenders. My guess would be that Washington is most likely going to buy out Chris Paul. And in that case, you're going to only really end up trading Bradley Beal for Landry Shamet, a couple second-round picks, and my guess would be a first-round pick swap. So, I honestly, if I were the Heat, if I were the Wizards in this situation, I would have gone with the Miami deal. They would have gotten a solid offer from Miami. I mean, I do know that Kyle Lowry was being offered to them as well, and it was probably either pick Kyle Lowry, two aging old guards, both 38 years old, and they chose Chris Paul. Who knows? Maybe they might try to trade Chris Paul away for something, because even though a lot of teams are going to want Chris Paul in the buyout market, there are some teams that could be willing to trade for Chris Paul. Not a lot of teams, but maybe a couple of teams that might be willing to trade for Chris Paul. So maybe Washington will try to trade him away. But I do like the Landry Shamet addition. I think he will stay on Washington's roster for next season. He's going to be a great addition. Had a great season, averaged about a little bit over 8.5 points per game this season with four assists per game. Really good three-point shooter. I think he'll be a great addition for Washington, most likely coming off the bench for Washington next season. But I think Shamet will be a great addition. But I don't know if they got their, I think that they definitely lost this trade. I mean, Phoenix, in the case where they have Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, there was no way they were going to lose this trade. But I think Washington definitely could have gotten more for Bradley Beal. And who knows, maybe it's multiple first round picks, which I don't think it is. I think it's going to only be one first round pick swap. But you guys have your thoughts on the trade. I think, Washington did solid, but not that great. I thought they could have maybe gotten a better offer from someone else. Some other team maybe would have offered maybe 2 first round picks and maybe more solid players, but that's just my opinion. But Bradley Beal, yes, he's a superstar. Yes, he averaged 23.2 points per game this season, and in the 2021 season averaged 31.5 points per game in the 2021 season. But his contract is horrible. He's getting around $46 million a year. His no trade clause is very hurtful too. If Phoenix ever decides they might need to move him in the near future, and in the next couple of years, who knows? There's still about another 4 or 5 years left on his contract. So Bradley Beal has control in the near future if Phoenix ever decides to move him. So the no trade clause plus the horrible contract was definitely hurts Phoenix in this trade, and that would ultimately ended up hurting Washington because his trade value was down because of the no trade clause and the horrible contract. But you guys have any thoughts on the trade? Phoenix has to be. I know Denver is favored to be the final, to be finals favorites they're the favorite by Vegas right now to win the finals next season. But I think with Phoenix now having Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and they're going to get something decent back for DeAndre Ayton, I think they have to be the title contenders right now. I think they're going to, honestly, I think Phoenix, if they don't mess it up, a full season of Kevin Durant. They didn't have KD for a full season last year. Now they're going to have a full season of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. That team's going to be hell of good. And whatever they get back for DeAndre Ayton, he's worth quite a bit. So we'll see what happens, though. You guys have more thoughts, and you guys have more thoughts on the trade. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.